How is it going, everybody? We are back for another Coast to Coast Lifestyles with myself, Heather Kusibo with Windermere in Seattle's East Side in Washington, and then you got Cassie Webb with Elevate Real Estate over on Mississippi's Gulf Coast. We are doing a little bit of a change of original plans because I have unfortunately been out of commission with strep throat the last few days. Today is the first day I've really been able to talk. So Cassie's going to be showcasing more of Mississippi today, and then next week I'll be back to showcase. We'll kind of touch back on Mississippi a little bit, and then we'll kind of talk more about Washington's side of what is really typical in our region. Because for those who don't know, there's different building sciences and different styles for different parts of the country because we have different natural disasters. We have different things we need to build for and worry about, different weather patterns. So it's really fascinating to see, and different ages, because the East Coast is way older than the West Coast. So it is going to be really cool to see both sides. Now, I grew up on the East Coast, so I'm a little bit more familiar, maybe not with Mississippi in particular, but more familiar with East Coast architecture than I think you are to Washington. Is that right? Or do you know some West Coast?
I really know very little about like the architecture and the styles and things of the West Coast. Yes.
Yeah. So this will be really fun then the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to stop talking because I'm already feeling strained, but I will let Cassie take over now.
So it actually really worked out well because I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much that I want to say and a little bit of a history lesson. I won't bore you guys too much, but it kind of plays into what's different types of, I guess, typical homes that you may see on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And then, I was like, gosh, how am I going to cram this into half an episode? So actually, I'm kind of excited to have a little bit longer today. And going through this, it did make me realize how little I know about the West Coast and different types of architecture. And maybe you have some historical events. I'm sure with the tech, you've seen a lot of changes throughout the decades. And so I just, I guess when I think about our architecture here, so first of all, our typical home, I would say, we kind of went over this a few weeks ago when we were talking about new construction versus our pre-loved home stats. And we talked a little bit about averages. So our average is, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. And the new home, it's kind of increased. Of course, our standards of living have increased over the years, right? So it's, I think it was around 1,800 square feet, and we kind of crept into the 3.5, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, kind of territory. But today, I really wanted to kind of showcase, just if we were out previewing a wide variety of homes, like what that would kind of look like, and then how it kind of ties into our history a little bit as well. So I've got 11 houses to show you guys. But I won't be too long on each one, but I do just kind of want to just show you, like I said, a variety of what you may see here along the coast. So we are going to start. I am showcasing other agents' listings in our area. So of course, for each one, I will let you know who this listing is courtesy of, and thankful for their permission as well to showcase these listings. So first, we have some historic homes. So this one was, this listing is courtesy of Liz Wackenhut with Keller Williams. And this home was built in the 1800s. I actually felt like, and they're just beautiful. The architecture is very kind of, and you'll see this, I'm actually going to end on this. It's kind of a new construction. This is similar architectural, kind of the New Orleans Creole type architecture. It was very common. These are normally, many of them have their historic component has been well maintained. And they're very just beautiful homes. The woodwork, the trim, a lot of times you'll see these hardwood floors. and some of the original fireplaces. Some work, some don't. I did a little research leading up to this, and it was very interesting. I thought we had a lot more, but I looked at houses that have closed over the last 5 years, and we actually have very few homes that were built really prior to the 60s and 70s. And you'll see a lot of these homes are close to the beach. So Gulfport is a port city, obviously. We have a harbor there. So a lot of the homes are going to be kind of centered around that area. And then we've got this. I have another house, kind of fast forwarding a few years. So obviously in the 1920s, you know, just worldwide, I think there was not as much construction after the First World War. And then here we have a house that was actually built. This listing is courtesy of Mary Phillips with Century 21 J. Carter and Company. And this home, again, kind of near the beach, similar, it's in that Gulfport area near the port. And this home is a little more typical in price point. Heather, I know this comes up a lot, but our price point, average price point here is in the 250s, 260s, which you'll see is very, very different from Heather's next week. So that's one thing that, you know, we do have a lot of people that retire here. We have military bases. Some of these were kind of built during that time frame. This one actually was built in the 1960s, I believe. But this is a similar architecture to a lot built in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and then it kind of shifts in the 70s. But we have a lot of people who come here from all over the world. We have military bases in Gulfport and Biloxi. And people get stationed here and then come back here because they can, you know, have kind of affordable living as compared to most of the country. So, and these are just usually very adorable homes like this. And you know, it's it's kind of on the smaller side, but very modern, up to date, and in an affordable price point by most standards. So, and then we had in the 1960s, we had a major hurricane, Hurricane Camille. And then, so in the 70s and 80s, there was huge influx. So if you're just like, I want to see just your typical house, right? That the majority of homes, really up until you get to the to the 2000s. But this is a house. This listing is courtesy of Angie Adkins with Adkins Realty. And this, I would say, is very typical of what you'll see here. It's a ranch style home. It was built in the 70s, actually 69. So 69, 70s, you're going to see a lot of this architecture. Very affordable price point, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. So this really falls within kind of a typical home. And it is very cute, very cute. And this is where you start to see more development, like on the north side of the interstate. So all this area kind of started to get developed at that point. Especially after Hurricane Camille in 1969, because people were, you know, kind of moving, developing land kind of a little further north. So, and then we have homes, just briefly, this, let's see, Nicole Sanchez with Keller Williams also has this house. So we've got these beautiful homes on acreage that are we've got kind of more rural. So you're seeing we're getting a little further from like the interstate and the coastline here. But we have just gorgeous custom built homes on acreage that are, you know, more on a little higher price point for our area. But this is definitely, you know, something you'll kind of see a lot these homes when people are, you know, looking to get away from the and it's just funny, city life, if you will, you know. So they're kind of going more on the outskirts, and then have these really beautiful properties that are on acreage and custom built homes, you know.
That place is
And
adorable, by the way. how
I
much how much land does your typical home have around there? Do you know?
So, I mean, our newer, like everything I've shown up to this point is probably going to be, you know, a quarter or third acre lots. But this home, I believe, don't make me misquote it, but hang on, let me just look real
Sorry.
quick. So this one, let me get the acreage. This one, that's what I thought. It was just under 3 acres. This home. Now you'll see it's got some water. There's actually a creek right here. So it's got some water frontage, if you will, and then kind of goes out. So, and then a lot of them have gates and fences and things for privacy. So, but yeah, very beautiful, very beautiful. It's definitely, when people are looking to kind of get away, and a lot of times maybe, you know, during retirement or, you know, something like that, people that work from home and things and want to be a little further out. But we definitely have a lot of homes on acreage here for sure. So and then and this is actually kind of leads perfectly into this. So this is like an adorable little home here. This one, let me see. This is Richard Reynolds with Keller Williams. This is his listing, and it's kind of that more rural area. But this is going to be, I think this one's on, if I'm not mistaken, a half an acre. But it's also where you can get, you know, super affordable homes. It's a little over a half an acre, and it's just adorable. 165,000. Can't beat it. Plus insurance is sometimes a concern here. But these little homes out, you know, kind of in the more rural areas, they have really much more affordable insurance rates. So this is like, we have the perfect little opportunity here for people that really want to, you know, keep things affordable, and have, you know, kind of be, again, kind of out away from the hustle and bustle, if you will, of Biloxi and Gulfport. So, and then another thing you'll frequently see here is that I have actually 3 properties. This one is courtesy of Carrie Lawless with EXP. And this one is a kind of your classic architectural style for a riverfront home. Also some beach homes, but also a lot of riverfront. We have a lot of like canals and creeks and rivers in all 3 of our coastal counties. And this is very typical of what you would see. So just gorgeous homes. This one's actually new construction and listed at $389,500. So it's a really great price. And the insurance is very much more affordable, even though you might not think it, but with it being new construction and built to the latest codes and hurricane standards and so forth, it can definitely, you know, be a good option. So this is a fantastic little house here.
And that's actually something really interesting to point out too for my West Coasters or people who don't know about hurricanes.
Yeah.
Seeing things built on stilts like that to people on the West Coast is like, what the heck is that? Why is it built on little sticks? But it really is. It's for the flooding. It's for protecting the home during the hurricanes. It's fascinating how it's just so different, some of that architecture.
Yeah, and it's funny because this is I actually was working on financing property, and it was from a lender out in California. And he was like, "What is this? I don't even understand what's going on." But just for perspective, actually, this is the next one I'll showcase just because it perfectly ties into this. And this listing is courtesy of Brandy Hopstein with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Panoramic Properties. And this is actually a very similar structural wise to the one that we just saw. So it's basically open down here, but you can see that they kind of made it the cosmetically it's different, and it has kind of a different architectural feel. But this one is also built up same as the one that we just saw, but obviously with a different design and different feel to it, more of a luxury feel. And this one's actually on the bay. So this is, it's funny because if you see the front of this neighborhood, it looks like kind of your typical kind of the ranch style homes, but these homes predominantly were built, our next history lesson, our next major hurricane, which is to my knowledge, the largest hurricane we have on record here is Hurricane Katrina in 2005. So these homes are built since then because not much existed on the bay post Katrina. So we have some gorgeous homes. This looks like actually has an elevator too, which is super cool. We don't see that very often. But it is a beautiful, obviously custom built home, and it is on the bay. So gorgeous views and fun water access. A lot of people have boat launches. You'll see the boats over here. So super fun that you get, you know, gorgeous home, gorgeous views, and, you know, entertainment in your backyard. You know, check out this. Like, this is gorgeous. You just see the bay views right from your house. And, you know, definitely on the higher price point for our area, $689. But, you know, it's not many places in the country you can get bay views for under $1 million, you know.
I was going to say, that's a really high price for what I expect for your area, but that's like, I mean, that's probably equivalent more or less in quality to like a 1 to 2 mil in my particular region. So it's,
it is a larger job. Yeah, it's a larger home. So it's 5 bedroom, 2 bath, over 2,700 square feet. So it's a very spacious home as well. And then it also, there's a big price difference when you're talking about being on the bay like this one, as opposed to being like kind of on one of the smaller bodies of water like the canals or the rivers. And then this is, we have condos that are on the, I'm sorry, and this is April Cook with Welcome Home Real Estate. This is her listing, and this is a condo, and it's actually right on the beach. But this is obviously more of a low-rise building, and super, super cute. I mean, it's literally, well, it's on the north side of Highway 90. We only have 1 or 2 communities that are on the south side. But this is literally like, you know, your front door is looking at the beach. Actually right there, you'll see. So, I mean, you know, to get something condo on the beach under 400,000 with the pool and the amenities is really fantastic. So then we have same thing on the beach, but we have some high rise. Well, they border high rise, mid rise. High rise is over 25 stories. I think most of the ones that we have are under 25 stories. I think they all are, but we call them high rises because they're high rises to us. So this is Denise Lawler with Expect Realty. I appreciate her allowing me to showcase this listing. So this is what we call our high rise condos. And again, right on the beach in Biloxi, you're near tons of entertainment. As you can see here, I was saying it is just north of the interstate. But especially on these higher floors, I mean, you're looking out over the Gulf of Mexico, and they have a lot of amenities. So they'll have pools, some have hot tubs. This is a clubhouse area. Oh, now we're back in the condo. But these are great, and a lot of these have allow short-term rentals as well. So we have a lot of people who have vacation homes that they also are income producing when they're not using them. But I mean, it's just gorgeous. Like you're sitting in the living room and looking right out over the Gulf. And again, under 400,000. So it's really, really cool. So you can see there's some other kind of similar communities here. And then we have, this is near a lot of different, casinos. We've got the Hard Rock Casino, Beau Rivage, some different casino areas. And then we also have some newer townhomes. These are D.R. Horton. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They have built a lot of communities here, but they just built these townhomes. And these townhomes are kind of they're new construction, obviously. So you're getting, affordable insurance rates. The HOA dues are actually really low on these, but this is good for people who kind of want to live an apartment type style life, but yet want to own it, at the end. So they're really cute. Very affordable, under $215. Some of them, they've got really fantastic, actually. They're buying down the interest rates right now, offering closing costs, some appliances and things like that. And then there will be a pool. And then there is, they've got the garage, and then there's a community lake on these as well. So super cute little community. So we've got a lot of new construction. The other, I guess, let's see, sorry, I'm missing one. I guess I'll kind of end where I started off, which is, this is actually this is Elliott Homes, is building this one. We're more of a custom home builder, but they've been building several communities here. And I think it's funny because this is where I'm going to land. But to me, it has a very similar architecture. It's like we went full circle, right, in the 2020s, or 1920s to the 2020s, because I feel like they kind of brought back that kind of historic New Orleans type feel, but in the brand new construction. So it has that, French New Orleans Creole type architecture. So we kind of, brought it back full swing, but we see a lot of these, similar architecture to this one. This is actually in a really cool, we have some different kind of larger HOAs, or what's called a POA. I don't know if you have those there, but they're a little more, instead of just like a subdivision, it's really kind of more like a community that has different types of amenities. And anyway, I won't bore you with the details, but so that is what you're gonna see. If I just took you cruising along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and if you're like, hey, I don't know what I want. I know that I went all around the world, and I want to come back here because I can get, a fantastic home for under $1 million. Then that's kind of that would be our journey through time and along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So, did you have any questions, Heather?
Oh man, no, in general, it's really cool because, again, you'll see next week just how our architecture differs and some of the reasons why it differs. And it's really cool because some of the homes that you showcased have similar flavors to our architecture or our like finishing touches, but they're not the same. So I'm really excited for that and to kind of marry our two areas. But in general, it's just super interesting to me. Out of curiosity, for the ones that are more rural or out there, how far is that actually from like the city?
I mean, like the ones comparable to what I was showing you are like within 15 minutes of
Oh,
the,
okay.
yeah. So, I mean, we have very rural areas. We have
Yep.
areas where you gotta travel 30, 45 minutes to the grocery store, or, I mean, Dollar General has saved us a lot on that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we usually have a Dollar General at least pretty close. A dollar. But most of the ones that are in my particular market are within, 15, 20, 30 minutes of town.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them are within 20 minutes to an hour of the beach, just kind of
Yeah.
depending um,
Yeah.
on where. But there are other areas of Mississippi, but those will that are far from everything.
Mhm.
However, those are in actually even a lower price point, which I know is interesting for you. So,
Yeah, some of those like $200,000 homes, I was like, I don't even know if I can buy land anymore for 200,000 in my area.
I think you should find like maybe next week you could showcase if you have a $250,000 house. If
Oh man.
you do, like what that looks like.
I will have to look outside of my immediate area, but I can possibly find something. I know you and I did something like that together offline like
Yeah.
several months back, and there was literally nothing under it was like 200 or 250
I
or
think,
something like
yeah,
that.
I think there was one thing under 200, but it was maybe kind of like a timeshare or condo
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like
Oh
it wasn't
yes, I
not
remember
even
that.
own the whole condo.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it is interesting because, people retire. Sometimes people retire here and then people are like, you retired from Mississippi? And they're like, well, first of all, it's not what you think. And second of all, heck yeah, because I can get a house looking at the beach for $300,000. So it does. But I'm super excited. I know I'm very sorry you were sick, Heather, but I'm glad that we were able to take a little time because I was like prepping for this and I'm
Mhm.
like, how in the world am I gonna do this
Yeah.
injustice, squeezing it into 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about next week and getting to learn a little more about things over your way.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I am happy it worked out the way it did too, because seeing what you're doing, I'm like, oh, I was going to take a much simpler approach and it was not going to be the same. So I love that we got this so that I can, Mary have the same feel as you. And it'll probably also be a really long one so that our viewers can actually learn more about our areas. So I kind of love it.
Yeah, I love talking about, I like we have a lot of people that relocate here out kind of as I mentioned, and I love
Hmm.
kind of taking them around and showing them the different areas and the different architectures and then finding what's a good fit from that for them. But it is kind of something I take for granted, like what else is out there? So yeah, I'm super excited for next week. And we will see you guys same time, same place.